Hello everybody, this is Nintendo Capri Sun, and sorry if I took like 2 seconds before I started talking there, I don't know. So what you're about to see here is kind of a montage
So powerful!
of me getting all the the Goddess Keep treasures that I didn't get. And hopefully at this point I will have gotten my files identical to each other so that it won't matter which one I play anymore. Although I'm still pretty much convinced that the green one was my LP file. If I'm wrong about that, then I guess I literally have lost my mind. But I think I lost it a long time ago, back in like the Majora's Mask days, or more like Wind Waker. That green rupee scream, I think I got a concussion from making that scream. That's probably what happened. Because I actually went and saw a doctor after I made that scream, and he did say that there was some sign of massive vibration that damaged like my cerebral cortex. No, I'm just kidding. I'm making this up. I didn't go to the... Oh my gosh, I spilled water on my tummy. Like 2 times in a row, man. I try to drink water and it drips down the left side of my face. I hope I don't do that 2 times in a row. I was sitting here holding the cup next to my mouth, waiting for myself to finish my sentence so I could take a drink. And holy cow, it's a bottle. How nice. That's some good shit. This would be where my batteries ran out, finally. So you won't have to be seeing that battery thing, probably for the rest of the game, so thank me. This was a nice landing here. Plop! Very nice. You make me completely miserable. I missed the note on me, sorry about that. Anyway, you got the rupee medal. So, I've been struggling with the commentary on this track, because this is actually post-commentary, because it's a montage, obviously. But I end up having to do post-commentary for the whole thing, because I'm having issues with the commentary that I originally recorded for this coming up episode after this montage, which is all going to be one episode. And since I didn't upload a video yesterday, we might as well make this one a 25-minute-er. So that's what it's going to be. Maybe 24 or 50 something. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, this is almost it for the montage, but then I discovered that when I stupidly practiced on my LP file, I went and did this too, opened this locked door back here. So I have to show all this too, you know, in the montage of stuff, getting the files back to where the same place as each other. As it turns out, though, apparently I didn't do the crystal ball on this file like I thought I had done, and so my, happiness crystals, my gratitude crystals are actually 65 instead of 70 like they should be. And it's going to show that, but it's actually right on the actual file. I'm getting these files to the same place as each other, like I said, but it would help if I actually, did it right. So, so going through this place, I kind of tried to take my time, because I knew I would be commentating, and I didn't want to go too fast, or else I'd miss out on explaining something, like picking up these Linnaeus ants, which is not something that bears explaining. Why is it 78.8? I got home and it was 78.4. I got the AC running, now it's 78.8. And here's the kicker. It's 70 outside. 70 even. Now, if Einstein can explain that, I'd love to hear it. I'll tell you what it is. My AC is too small for this place. It's designed for an office. But why would you need an AC for an office? Aren't offices already inside air-conditioned buildings? I don't get that. I remember in like the 1980s, my dad used to work at JoyServe, and he had an office that was out like in a trailer, so they had to have ACs for those. And I guess that's what it's for. I don't know. But I thought my apartment was so small, maybe it wouldn't matter. But I guess it is just big enough. I don't know. It's probably just that the air has nowhere to go. It's trying to push air in, but there's nowhere for the air to go. So if I put a fan in the window blowing out, that might help. But I'm not going to do that in the middle of the commentary, because then I wouldn't be able to say anything to you fine folks on this lovely, what is today? Thursday? Damn it. Now I got to tell those people I'm going to do the Mega Man 2 race tonight. We never worked out a time, so I got to figure that out in the next 17 hours. Yeah, so I don't know. It's always so hard working out times with people, because I can do it pretty much any time. But people have, like, jobs and school and stuff, in the real world. People have stuff. I was pointing out a goddess cube here that you can't actually get to right now. I will get to it later, and I will almost forget it to our amusement later on. But I digress, and I'm getting too far ahead of myself. So far, this commentary is turning out so much better now that I'm not talking about the subject that I was... Oh, check this out. I realized you weren't supposed to use a bomb here, so I threw it into the pit like a dumbass. Like, what are you thinking? And then you remember you have to use the beetle. It's like, yeah. I just love long silences. I don't know, there's something about long silences in commentary that kind of relaxes me when other people do it, like, you know, people that I've already mentioned too many times, Gemini Laser. I'm just, see what I mean? I won't shut up about him. It's like, I almost find his videos addictive, like I have to watch them when there's nothing else to do. The problem is, it's not that often that there's nothing else to do, you know? Because it's like, I'm always doing something. I'm sitting here, like, either, I don't know, you know, for somebody who doesn't have an actual physical 8-hour job, I sure do complain a lot about not being able to manage my time. See, so I'm one of the last people in the world that has the right to do that, you know? Then again, I guess, you know, any other person who was reasonably popular would have to answer for the same thing, like Morgan Freeman. I wouldn't expect him to explain anything. I'm not Morgan Freeman, I'll tell you that. But one thing that we do have in common, I think, is that we're both past the threshold. There's a certain threshold of what a human being can handle as far as, like, how much time he has to spend with people and stuff. And this is what I was talking about in the original commentary that I didn't want to get into, but it is something that I've needed to say for a while. And I've probably actually said it in other videos, and, like, you know, I'm sitting here acting like this is the first time. Because I see other people do that sometimes. They have issues in their lives and certain issues with themselves and stuff, and they'll go through and explain, like, once every few months, like they're just discovering that there's something wrong. And it's like, I'm the same way. I do the same thing. So this is probably, like, nothing new. I've probably had this talk before. It's just that I'm starting, and this is nobody's fault but my own, you know. So I can't, and this is right here is where I'm actually about to switch to what I recorded last night. So we'll get to see that. Finally, we're up to date here. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was saying, you know, like I said, this is not anybody's fault but my own, but it's getting to a point where I'm spending too much time trying to please other people. And unfortunately, even like, you know, taking, like, all the people that want to do a race with me, even answering, you know, even saying yes to 10% of those is still, like, doing 2 or 3 races a week, you know. And the biggest problem with races is that you're lucky if the recording turns out, because half the time it won't. And that's something you have to consider before you decide to sit down and take all the time to do it, because that happens. You know, half of the reason I posted the link to the past race, in spite of knowing that there were certain things people might complain about in it, was because how lucky were we to actually have the entire Skype call recorded, to have all the Zeldas recorded and synchronized. None of them was going fast or lagging or anything. And so, you know, it was great. But that's one thing you have to consider with races, even though I say I do 2 or 3 races a week. And that's why, you know, I might not be seeing new ones in the playlist. Like, the last one I think I added was the Castlevania 1 race, and we did that like a month ago. Then we got the Super Mario 64 race, but the guys who are editing that are going to be gone to camp for like 2 months, starting in a few weeks. So they're not going to be able to have that up for like another 3 months, probably, so you might as well forget about that for a while. And Argon Matrix, I had a Battletoads race with him, but that didn't work out. That didn't turn out. One of the videos messed up, or I don't remember what happened there. So we're going to redo that on Monday. I have a Mega Man 2 race tomorrow. Actually, I think I mentioned that earlier. Yeah, and I'm not trying to complain by saying this. I'm just, like, you know, trying to, like, give you a little piece of my life as it is right now. And technically, this is how it is all the time. There's, like, I'm always scheduling myself to do all these things. And it gets to a point where I'm not sure that I'm allowing myself enough me time, because even though I don't have an 8-hour job, I still manage to keep busy, like, all the time, between answering messages, answering form spring, checking Twitter, checking Facebook, going to the gym, grocery shopping, cleaning, cooking my own food now, which I, you know, usually didn't do before because I always had TV dinners. So I gotta do that and clean the dishes, take out the trash. I mean, you know, it's easy when you don't have to do that kind of stuff in life because your parents do it or something, you know. So, yeah, there's just so many things you have to do as an adult. You have to get your oil changed. I gotta do that. I've needed to do that for like a month now. The problem is, how can I even say that, though? Because, you know, all the other adults have to do all that stuff, too. So what do they do? I guess the difference between me and them is they don't have a million people asking them for favors. Like, you know, even just scheduling, like, a birthday party gets to be a pain in the ass. And you do that, like, once a year. Or in my sister's case, 4 times a year. But, hell, I'm lucky if I even make it to one of those. That's the thing that they don't always do, because when you have 4 kids, it's like, you know, it doesn't seem like doing something once every 3 months would be such a big deal, but you'd be surprised, you know, how often it comes. You know, I remember when I was younger, 3 months it seemed like forever, but nowadays 3 months just gone, just like that. Before you know it, it's like, oh, it's that time again. Wow, feels like we just did it. Of course, then again, like I was saying earlier, I had races this Thursday and then next Monday, so it's like, well, what about Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? And what are you doing those days? Well, not so fast. because I got somebody actually in real life coming to visit then. And I'm kind of nervous about it. I was nervous about Chibi too, I guess, but... You know, when everybody thinks, like, I know I made that quote in the other video. I don't know what the comments look like on that. I also don't want to look. That video where I was on Levias and I was saying something about, oh, whoever I'm talking about doesn't even know that it applies to them. It's like, I wasn't talking about Chibi there, if anybody wonders. I don't know why so many people want to know about that. It's like, I don't know. It was just something that happened, but it's not, you know, I don't blame him for any of that. This is where, like, my issues as a person come out, because now people are starting to try to take part in my life, and it's like, I don't want that. Because, I mean, I know I complained about being lonely before, but I didn't know how to handle being around other people, and that was always, you know, my issue. It wasn't the fault of other people for not acknowledging me, it was just the fault of myself for not wanting them to. And so they basically figured out really quickly that I didn't want them to, and they just left me alone. But then I turned around and blamed them for the fact that I was lonely, and I shouldn't have done that. Watch this right here. I actually hit the stamina fruit with the hook shot by accident. And then don't grab onto the wall because of it. How stupid is that? And that's if you're waiting for it to respawn. It's like ridiculous, man. I don't know. It's like I said, I can't blame other people for my issues, and if it happens to affect me in a negative way, that's just, you know, that's just me. That's my issues affecting me in a negative way, not other people. And people want to blame other people for that because they think, well, they're just interested in me because I'm popular. And, you know, I can't help but think that myself. I think that about everybody, except for the people who, you know, acknowledged me before I got popular, who happen to be my best friends now, like Luca Jin, Josh Jepson, a loyal gamer, and all those, you know. People that come and hang out at PAX and stuff like that. You know, we're like a tight-knit little group, you know, and they say that, like, the average person only has time for, like, 6 friends. And at this point, I've probably got no less than 12 that I would consider to be extremely close. Like, you know, not even counting the runaway guys, because, I don't know, because somebody asked me that on Forum String. They asked me, like, who are your best friends? And I gave, like, this top 10 list, like Luca Jin, Josh Jepson, Liam Six, P. Cole, Super Genius, the same list I always give. But, you know, but then they said, well, why not Proton John and Chugga? Wouldn't they be on there? And I had a hard time actually thinking about what the truth was there, but I think the truth is just that I think of them more as, like, business partners, and it doesn't mean that we're not friends, but the truth is that I've only just recently met them compared to how long I've known Luca Jin and that kind of thing. Yeah, it's just one of the, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of personal stuff. I don't know if I even have any business talking about this kind of stuff, because it's like, well, I mean, why does it even matter? You know, my life is my own life, and it belongs to me, and I shouldn't be so eager to sit out there and just put, you know, everything out there that we do. You know, it kind of feels less... I read this in a movie. Wow, leave it to me to say that. I read this in a movie. I guess because I think of movies as scripts most of the time. In Equilibrium, I think it was. Kristen Bale. Like, if you're a Kristen Bale fan and you haven't seen Equilibrium, seriously, for the love of God, anyone. Like, it's not even just Kristen Bale fans, but anyone. Equilibrium is possibly the greatest movie I've ever seen. Even though I think Groundhog Day is my favorite. I need to turn that down. That is getting loud. But yeah, Christian Bale, at one point in Equilibrium, he says something to the effect of that he doesn't find emotions as strong when he tries to put words to them. It's better, like, emotions are more powerful if you don't put words to them, or if you don't try to explain them. And I found it was kind of profound, I thought, you know, because my thought was always, well, you know, emotions should be expressed in some vivid way because they deserve to be acknowledged and all this crap, you know, and everything, but it never occurred to me that maybe emotions, the magic of them, could be diluted by the process of trying to capture them in, you know, in language or in words or something. And watch me just walk right by that ancient flower and almost sink in the sand here, but no, I don't think so. That's okay, I'll mess up later and get teleported back here, don't worry. And we'll get to watch all of it, and part of what makes this video 25 minutes long is this mess up right up here that I'm about to do. Yeah, because the thing is, I don't ever want to stop. I don't ever want to be that person who doesn't interact with his fans. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy who doesn't answer his messages, or the guy who, you know, or the guy who doesn't care about his fans, or doesn't care about what they've done for him, because I could never say enough, like, how awesome my life is. And I know I have these speeches all the time. You probably get sick of hearing it, actually, but I don't know. Here goes. I missed the stamina fruit, so I think, oh, maybe I can get the next one. Nope. Chuck tester. Chuck tester. Blah, 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 blah. So stupid. I didn't say it right. So let's see how far back we went. Yeah. Bam, bam. Kill him. Oh, what was I saying? Yeah, I was saying I don't want to become that guy. I don't want to stop doing races and co-ops and things like that. I don't want to stop doing that. But at the same time, if I don't cut back on it a little bit, I'm going to end up alienating my best friends, which I've already done anyway. I've been doing that for a long time now, much longer than ever since I started doing the races. I guess the truth is that half the time I don't message them because I don't want to feel like I'm interrupting them, because I know how it is to be popular, like most of them are. And most of the time, I have to assume that they are doing something besides just sitting at their computer waiting for me to save them from their lives. It's like, I never want to Skype anybody, because it's like the moment that you do that, it's like you're assuming that you're more important than anything else the person could possibly be doing. And that's always been my philosophy on communication to begin with. Like, I don't even say hello to people in the street, because it's like you're demanding a response when you do that. And how do you know that that person's not, like, thinking about their brother who's possibly in Iraq right now getting shot at? They could be thinking about that, and then you come along with all your self-importance and expect them to acknowledge you. It's like, I've never understood that. I mean, maybe that's... And somebody explained, actually, the flaw in my logic on that, on Cracked, and it kind of made sense. But the point is, how many times can you see people... how many times can you see someone with their phone ringing, saying shit at their phone like they don't want it to ring, and before you realize that they just don't want to be bothered, How many times can you see someone hang up the phone and say shit after they hang up the phone, and realize that they would have rather just not interacted, because most of interactions involve, like, bill collectors. At least that's the way it was with my parents. I probably got a skewed vision on life because of that, I don't know. Watch me mess with this totem pole here, even though I don't have to. I hate this room, actually. This enemy right here is, like, the worst thing they could have put in here. Because, you can't just stand there and wait all of 3 seconds for him to shoot at you when you got all this other stuff going on. On the other hand, if you turn around and ignore him and try to take out the other stuff, unless you got lucky like I did and have the, time shift zone be between you and him, then chances are he's going to hit you while you're doing that. So it's like, Oh yeah, this is the part of the video where I was being stupid. Like, the original commentary of this. I got on the subject of Avatar. I don't know how I got on the subject of this, but I got confused. Because, like, there's two different avatars. There's the movie, and there's, like, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Right? Or something like that, I guess. I don't even know if that's true or not, but... The thing that confused me about it is... The thing is, I've looked it up now, so it makes sense a little bit more anyway. See, because I thought the TV show, like, just came out or something. Because people didn't start talking about it until just now. Like, 2 years after the actual movie Avatar came out. So I just assumed that the TV show was based on the movie. Well, no, it turns out the movie is actually based on the TV show. Because that's always what happens, It's always, like, the thing that people know less about. And then when people find out, about a movie, then they go back and watch what it's based on. And that actually makes sense, Like, if people actually made a movie based on, like, Secret of Mana, and people would say the movie sucks and the game is great. So it's really no different, I guess. But, I don't know, I just thought, because I didn't understand, because I was trying to figure out why would they call it Avatar: The Last Airbender if it doesn't have anything to do with the movie. Because everybody thinks the movie sucks, and I thought, that's what stopped me from watching it, was because everybody said the movie sucks, so maybe, I don't know. It's like, why would you call your show the same thing as a movie that sucks? And then I found out the movie's based on the show, because the show's been around longer than the movie has. So now it makes sense, but back then it didn't, I guess eventually at some point they, like, changed the title to just The Last Airbender, and not, like, Avatar: The Last Airbender, because you don't want to have that colon in there. So then you'd be going in for a colon cleansing. No. Just whatever. Oh, we finally got this thing around to the front of the thing again. When you get this around to this spot, it makes it really powerful. It brings those bones to life, which is actually the dragon, which is good. So, we're good.
Get to the chopper!
Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier that I never really finished. I never really
there is no bathroom!
But,
you know, in the bathroom!
I don't want to be the guy who doesn't answer his messages, but the problem is that to several people, I am that guy. Because several people have sent me messages and never got responses. And, I hate to say that I regret every single one, because sometimes I have to tell myself in my mind that, well, there's no way I could have done this, so... But at the same time, that excuse doesn't explain to them. Because for all I know, they're probably, like, it's really special to them. When you write to a celebrity, I'm not saying I'm a celebrity here, but when you write to someone who's reasonably popular, it's a special thing to you, because, because you know that person, you know. The unfortunate side effect of it is that that person doesn't know you. And so it's like a one-way relationship, and I hate that, you know. I wish I could know everybody, I really do. I wish I could stop. You know, that's why I hope there's an afterlife, so I can stop and spend, like, an entire year with every single one of you. I would live forever then. That would be great. I just want to know, like, I want to know everybody's life stories, and I want to know things like that. But at the same time, you know, it sucks that I only have time for so many.
So powerful!
Because people's lives really are interesting, and people themselves are interesting. But then, it's just unfortunate because there is so much luck involved. There are so many good LPers out there that never get what they deserve. Like, I was just watching a Star Fox LP, Star Fox for the Super NES, because I hadn't played that game or seen an LP of it in, like, literally since a year after it came out, maybe. So that would be like 94, maybe. And, like, I just went and watched this random guy. I can't remember his name now. It was like 6 letters long. But he was really good at it. And I was really impressed with his commentary style. He was actually extremely reserved. He was really quiet, and I don't know, just extremely, like, I don't even know what the word is. Like, humble, discreet, I'm not sure. But he was good. But he only had, like, maybe 100 or 200 views on each video, and then part 1 had, like, 1,500, because part 1 always has the most. But, oh, yeah, it was good stuff, though. So I thoroughly enjoyed reliving the game through his experience, even though he'll probably never know because I didn't leave any comments. Sometimes I don't want to leave comments because I don't want to get people's hopes up that, oh my gosh, he noticed me, now we're going to be like best friends. I hate to do that to people. You shouldn't do that to people, and it's wrong to do that to people. It's wrong to lead people on to thinking you're friends when the truth is that you're never going to be able to have time to give them what they deserve as your friend. And I guess the other thing is that there's this whole one-way relationship aspect of it because they know you so well because they've seen all your videos, but you have no idea who they are. So it's a little bit, like, weird, you know, and I don't feel like I could ever be a proper friend to somebody that I didn't know as well. And that wouldn't be their fault either. That's the worst part about it. It's like you can't blame other people for the fact that you don't know them. But then again, I can't really blame myself either because how was I supposed to know who they were? You know, there's so many people that I end up ignoring on the path to seeing the people that I do see. You know, and I don't know, I almost wish that everybody would just settle for one turn so that all the others could have a chance. By the way, I like it when I'm sniffing my balls. Okay. Just had to do that at one point in this LP. Somebody told me to bring that back, I thought I would.
So powerful!
I don't know. Because, you know, this is not a business. What I do here, this is not a business. But a business would be someone who actually just gave everybody one chance and then just, you know, threw them off to the wayside and move on to the next person. And I don't want to do that. That's stupid. You know, because when we do a race, when I do a co-op or a race with somebody, I like to consider that special. But, you know, at what point do you overexert yourself or spread yourself too thin to the point that you can't actually be a proper friend? You know, and especially when you're not being a proper friend to your best friends, then that's... You know, we meet up at, like, you know, PAX and stuff like that, and sometimes I almost feel like maybe I'm letting people down or betraying them in some way. And I don't want to be that guy who tried so hard to please everybody else that he ended up abandoning his best friends. I think this is where I wanted to stop the video originally, and that's why I'm just standing there like a chimpanzee, but we're just going to keep going. I'm going to go back and warp to the sky, and we'll stop the video there. But, hey, whatever. Yeah. It's just so weird. I don't want people to feel like... I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But I feel like I've done that so often just by the fact that... You know, that maybe I could have spent a little more time. Maybe I could have taken that extra 15 seconds to just say thanks. Because, like, when I respond to a message, I don't want to just respond with, like, 2 words. You know, so sometimes I try to do this really thought-out thing. Like, if somebody tells me they like my videos and stuff like that, I usually try to say something like thank you, but at the same time, you know, it's like, I don't just want to say thank you and that'd be it. That feels kind of chopped and canned, you know, it feels like a canned response. It feels like something that a secretary would say or something like that. But, I don't know. So but the problem is, if I put too much thought into individual messages, I end up, you know, ignoring people inadvertently, and I sure don't mean to do that. Maybe I should just find a different way to, you know, approach that whole situation. I don't know. Well, I would say more, but there really isn't much else to say, and we're running out of time here on this video. We're heading back to the sky to, to plant that seed so we can get healing fruit for the water dragon. The thunder dragon, I mean. See you later.